Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very first for the channel. We're doing a tier list because everyone loves a tier list. But for this one, we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of me just saying, who's busted, who's not, this tier list is based off of fun factor. Now, as we see here, we have the most fun. So these are for heroes that I just absolutely love playing and I think are some of the most fun to play and also play against. So this will be a double-edged sword here. Very fun. These are for heroes that are, they're very fun to play, but I don't play them as much as the most fun. Good. These are heroes that are good, just good. They're just standard, but you don't pick them up as much as the other two. Not really fun. These are for heroes that I personally just don't enjoy playing as, but I feel like they can still do some, do some stuff. And then Pain. This is for heroes that, in my opinion, are just dog water to play, both against and with. So that is how I'm going to be doing this tier list. So without further ado, let's get into it. But I will say this is all in my opinion. So we are going to start off with our boy Warden. Warden is easy. He's probably the most fun. He's my most repped hero. And quite frankly, he is just perfect. I think he's one of the most balanced heroes in the game. And Warden, unlike I feel like a lot of other heroes, he doesn't need any more buffs or changes. I think he's one of the only heroes in the game that requires a large amount of skill to get a lot of value out of. But when you get that value, he's so good. He's so strong. But when I am going up against a Warden, I never feel like they have any bullshit. That's my main problem. I don't feel like Wardens have any bullshit that they can throw to get the upper hand. It's purely skill based. So, and he has some of the best fashion, but we're not counting fashion, but I think a Warden definitely is one of the most fun heroes to play. Next up is Conqueror. I had to really think about Conqueror. I would say I think I would put him in good. I think Conqueror is fun when I am in the mood to play Conqueror. I feel like Conqueror is very simple, and you really got to do a lot of stuff with his shield. You either have to shield bash or wait for someone to hit your shield. And when you do like your heavy attacks and whatnot, it's always unblockable. So I don't really have an issue with him. I can like tear with this guy if I'm feeling like playing Conqueror. But other than that, I'm kind of mixed on him personally. I think he's okay to play when I'm in the mood to. But I think good. Good's a good spot for him. Peacekeeper. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm gonna put Peacekeeper in. I don't really know. I'm going to put her in probably not really fun. And I'll explain why. I wanted to put her in Pain, but I'm not going to, and I'll tell you why. This hero, in my honest to God opinion, I feel like Peacekeeper is a hero that I really hate going. Actually, not even hate. I just pity Peacekeepers. This is a hero that if you play, you're going to lose almost every single fight you're in. And if you're fighting a Peacekeeper, you're 90% of the time going to win that fight. It doesn't matter how good a Peacekeeper is. I mean that too. I have fought really good Peacekeepers, and they still die. Like, it is not that hard to kill a Peacekeeper. And even now with her feat rework, I feel like she's so like bottom of the barrel even still. I think Nushia got more love than she did, and that really blows. Because I mean, like, she is good if your enemy is completely oblivious to you. But it just sucks because I think Peacekeeper has so much potential. But playing her is pain, and like fighting her is not that hard, but I do feel like when she does that feint, that soft feint into a stab that can cause bleeding, you parry that. That is just it's like I saw that coming. I was ready for it, and that does feel very good. But I do not like playing her. But fighting her, I think it's more of a free kill. But it's one that you kind of need to work for. So I'll put her in not really fun. I'm sorry, but I know there's a lot of Peacekeeper players out there who love the character, but this is just my opinion. Lawbringer. Ooh. Okay. If Lawbringer was in his original state before he got his change, he would be in probably the most fun and very fun. But for right now, I'm gonna put him in good, and here's why. I think when they reworked Lawbringer, he is literally just a new Conqueror. He's Conqueror 2.0. That's how I feel with him. He is the exact fucking same. The only difference with him is that he has a little bit more use than Conqueror. Instead of just throwing heavies all the time, he can throw like, double lights, kind of like a Rochi can, where they will both connect, kind of like how Warden can. I hit my microphone. I'm sorry. Um, I don't. I really hate that the fact that he's now just a bash hero. That's how I feel with him. But I feel like if you don't use the bash like constantly, he is pretty fun. But I also just feel like he's a hero that requires so much, like, I wouldn't say change, but just I don't like how he turned out. I feel like you got a hero who originally was a hero that was like super skill based, super powerful when you use him correctly. He was a lot like Warden, where he was good to play if you were skilled enough, and then he could really do some damage. But um nowadays I do see a lot more of them, but he is just kind of a nuisance to fight against. And when I do play him, it's like I have to bash because that's how I get my openers, and it's like it's kind of dumb. It's really dumb. I also hate the frame for the bash. The bashes really annoy me because I feel like with Conquerors, they're a lot more readable. With Lawbringer, I feel like even if I dodge, they're still going to connect. So for him, I feel like um, he could do a lot better. But I think where he is right now, I think he's pretty solid. I do enjoy playing him from time to time, so he's okay up here. Next up is Centurion. Centurion, I'm gonna put him in very fun. I know. A lot of people are gonna be pissed off when I say this, but again, this is my list of how fun a hero is. Centurion is probably one of the most fun heroes to play, but I hate fighting them. and this list is for both sides, like how good a character is to fight and how good a character isn't good to fight. And I think Centurion is pretty comfy at very fun because I feel like when you play Centurion, he's so fun. He's so much fun. But when you have to go against a Centurion, it's just pain because all they do is throw haymakers at you like you owe them money. Um, and ever since he got his rework, though, with his feats and whatnot, I think he has become a lot better. I feel like he requires a lot more brain power to play and a lot more fun because of it. So he's definitely up here. But whenever I have to fight a Centurion, it feels like I'm getting my ass beat constantly because all they do is punch, and it's really annoying. But when you play Centurion and you get to do it's really fun. So for right now, I think he's in very fun. So he's in a good spot. He's in actually a really good spot. The next knight we will be talking about Black Prior. Okay, so if we're talking meta, like competitively, he would easily be up here. But we're talking about how fun a hero is. And I think he's going to go next to Centurion. And I'll say this why. I'll tell you why. I feel like Black Prior is not too bad to fight. And he's not too bad to play. I feel like he's fun to play and kind of fun to go up against because they all do kind of the same thing. But what I like about Black Prior is that he is kind of a support hero where he can, support his team with like shield and let's not forget Oathbreaker. Oathbreaker can just solely tell someone to go fuck themselves. And someone who doesn't get revenge a lot because I feel like it's a dumb mechanic, and maybe I'm just bad at the game, which is probably the reason. Anytime I see someone get revenge and I'm playing Black Prior, I immediately get rid of that revenge for them just so that they know that they ain't gonna live. They're not gonna win. I destroy their shit. I think Black Prior deserves to be very fun because mostly of Bulwark stance. I think the timing of when you get that Bulwark flip, oh my god, it's so satisfying. And I think it's more satisfying than the light parry a little bit. My issue with him, though, is I feel like he is very meta. And I know that's kind of like making people's eyes roll, but I feel like Blackprior's overall meta is kind of bullshit. I think Oathbreaker is bullshit. I think he can give shields and health, well, just shield, I guess, shield to his team like no problem. It is a little, I think, a little unfair when you actually fight a good Blackprior who understands their role. But I think Very Fun is definitely up here. I don't play a lot of Blackbriar, if I have to be honest. Like I have him up like the rep 14, so a decent amount, but I'm not the biggest fan of Blackbriar. Just not because he's bad or anything, but just because I feel like he is kind of just bullshit to play with. But not too much for him to be pretty high up on my list. So he's comfortable next to Centurion. They're just chilling out, having a coffee or something. All right. Next up, we have Warmonger. Oh, God, Warmonger. Okay. So, with Warmonger, I'm going to put Warmonger in... I'll put her in Very Fun. I'll put her in Very Fun because Warmonger is very fun to play. I think I can definitely say that she's probably one of the most... No, not the most fun, but she is just very fun. Actually, you know what? No. You know what? Right next to Warden. I'll say this why. I'll tell you why. While Warden doesn't need a lot of fancy stuff to make him good, it's all skill based. Warmonger is on the lines of someone who really, if you can get a parry off, you can impale an enemy, and then you just either throw him into a wall or better yet, into a hazard. That's always fun. That is so much fun to do. And probably one of the main reasons why I even play that hero. But another reason is easily corruption. Easily corruption. And I'll tell you why. I was not around when she first came out, and I knew that when she did, like, her corruption could kill minions. That was how bad it was. Like, I think she was, like, a top pick easily. Even now in meta, she is pretty much a top pick, but that's purely because of corruption. And because of corruption, I really like using it because it doesn't... I don't kill anyone with corruption, but it's mostly for crowd control. If you're in a group fight and you use corruption, you solo out everyone else because they can't help each other. So when you play Warmonger smartly, she is really powerful. But if you play her for like the parrying and whatnot, and you get those like guaranteed impales, it's so good. It's so much fun. I don't play her as much as I do Warden, but like when I do want to like play someone with like impalement and like bring them over to different parts of the place we're fighting, I either play Warlord or I play this woman. And I'll tell you, War Mommy is definitely up here because I think she deserves it. So she's up here, good for her. Next up, Gladiator. Okay, I know that a lot of people love Gladiator. I don't. I don't like Gladiator. But I will put him in Very Fun because I won't lie. I have very mixed feelings on Gladiator whenever I have to deal with him. I feel like if you're fighting Gladiator, either it's going to go really well for you because the Gladiator doesn't know what the hell they're doing, or the Gladiator is going to kick your shit in. But when it comes to Gladiator for the fun list, I feel like he is really fun. I think he's very fun. I feel like he is a hero that is a lot more fun in duels because kind of like an actual Gladiator match, I guess. But I would say in Dominion, I think he's all right. I think he's like a mixed bag. He's not a good hero, but he's a really annoying little shit. But I do think that Gladiator is a lot of fun, especially when you get that skewer. Like you dodge into an enemy's attack, and then you do that skewer. Oh my god, it's so good. I really like that. I think Gladiator deserves the Very Fun placement, so he's up here. I think he's in a good spot. Next up, and I think the last one for the Knights, we got Griffin. Griffin, easily he goes up here. I think Griffin is one of the most fun heroes in the game. And again, I have my reasons, but mostly because of his support element, but also he can just kind of do everything without it feeling like bullshit, you know? I think I think with Griffin, he is both a really good support hero. So if your team needs help, he's probably one of the best guys to do that with next to Black Prior. And then with his ability, well, not abilities, his move set, I feel like it's just so much fun with it because you can do a lot with Griffin. I feel like you can do a lot with him, and he has an answer for almost like any situation. As if you play Griffin right, he is really, really good. He's kind of like I would say he's a lot like Kensei, where he's not overpowered, he's not underpowered, he's like just right. There's nothing I want to really say more about him because, quite frankly, other than his fashion being absolutely terrible, except the Scorching Herald, but we're not ranking fashion. Um, this is probably one of the best things, one of the best heroes to play for fun. So he's definitely up here, and he kind of deserves it. And now, with that, all the knights are done that I can see. So now we're on to the Vikings, and we're going to do Raider. I would put Raider on good. I'm going to put Raider on good. And here's why. Raider, to me, is a lot like a... And here's why. I think Raider is probably one of those heroes that, at least in my opinion, is really, I think he's one of the best for new players, okay? And even if you're a veteran players can really wreck shop with Raider. I feel like Raider is a really good starter hero for anyone. I think with him, he's probably one of the best heroes for if you're new to the game. I think the problem with Raider, though, in my opinion, I think he's a little bit boring because he does have a lot of mix-ups, and that's good. But I also feel like, unlike Warden, I feel like all I'm doing is attack, guard break, attack. And I don't really like that. I kind of like using my brain. And now I'm not saying like you can't do that with Raider. You definitely can. But with Raider, in my opinion, I feel like he's good, but like not. He's like in the middle. I think that's a good spot for him. I don't think he's extremely good at being fun, but he can be fun if you want to just attack. Um, Next up is Warlord. Okay, this one's going to be an absolute shocker to everyone, but I'm putting Warlord in very fun. Now, some of you are thinking, how? Why is he very fun? He is the most boring hero in the game. And to that I say, you're absolutely right. I don't know why, but I really like Warlord as both a character and how I play him. When it comes to Warlord, I think he probably has the shortest move set in the game. Now, if you have the shortest moveset in the game, there's a lot of questions. I think next to Berserker, he probably has the shortest moveset in the game. But unlike Berserker, where he can do actually kind of a bit of things, Warlord is more on the lines of like a wall. If he's on a point, and this is why I think he's up here on very fun, Warlord, I feel like with the right feats and the right perks, this guy's unkillable. But I don't feel like he's in a bullshit kind of way. I feel like if you want to play a Viking and you just don't want to move anywhere, this is the guy. I think Warlord is that hero where I can just sit on an objective, and when someone comes to fight me, they're going to die from simply attrition of health. I feel like Warlord is so good in that aspect. And I just find the hyper armor trade and the headbutt and the basic stab and the shield, it's all good stuff. I feel like, yeah, he's very basic and it depends on the match that you're in. I kind of feel like he just deserves the spot up here. I mean, like, I know that a lot of people put him like in pain or not very fun, but to me, he's very fun. But I also can't forget that the one thing that he does so well is definitely his shield push. That's probably one of the most fun things about him. Kind of like Warmonger, except you have to get a guard break up, and then when you move someone, you're going to fucking move someone, and it's really good. So I think Warlord deserves the spot up here. Um, Next up is Berserker, and Berserker I'm also going to put in very fun. I know Berserker is... I know what I just said about Raider, where I feel like Raider's kind of a mindless hero that you can fall into with all you do is attack, attack, attack. And I know I'm being a hypocrite when I say, oh, well Berserker goes up here. And I kind of get that. But here's the thing with Berserker. Berserker is literally called Berserker, and that's what he's meant to do. But I don't know why, but something is just super satisfying to me about just trading blows with your enemy. No parry, no thought, you just start throwing hands with each other and you don't stop until one of y'all is dead, okay? I don't know why, but I really find this hero very fun to play, and it's kind of weird, and I don't even know why I like him so much. But I do think that he does belong up here. But I will say this while we're ahead of the game. I know that he went through like testing grounds, and one of his newer feats was that he literally just can't die. Do not ever add that to the game. This is not a hero that needs that, okay? I think that's dumb. I think that's super, super dumb. But I think Berserker does go up here. I do think that he kind of earned it. I just like, whenever I want to shut my brain off and just do attack, 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 and I'm a saint, so I don't play Hitsukiri. I play Berserker because I just think that he's the right hero for that without it being like terrible. And next up we have Valkyrie. Valkyrie, I'm just gonna put in good. I gotta be very honest, I don't play a lot of Valkyrie. I don't even fight a lot of Valkyries. I don't really have any much to say about her. Whenever you do play Valkyrie, I feel like whenever at least I play her, I feel like I can do okay. Whenever I fight Valkyries, at times they're very, very good, or at times they're very, very shit. Because Valkyries, much like Nobushi, all they do is spam lights, and I don't really like that with this hero. But I do think that Valkyrie can be quite useful. Not very much in team fights, but I feel like she's very unique with her shield. So I feel like that does give her some points. I do feel like whenever I do slip someone over and then watch my entire team just dogpile on the guy that I tripped, that's kind of fun. But I think good is a good spot for her. I think that's a very fair spot. And then our next Viking, Highlander, which I'm going to also put in very fun. I don't like fighting Highlanders, but I really like playing Highlander. I don't think I have much to say about Highlander. Highlander, he's a big dude. He has a big ass sword. He can throw you around like a ragdoll, kick you in the nuts, and then hit you with the big sword. He's a Scottish man with no fucks to give. He's just fun. I think that a lot of Highlander players will agree with me that he is very fun. But what is making him not most fun is I hate fighting against Highlander. Now, again, that's part of what I'm doing here. He's very fun to play and kind of fun to go up against, but he's definitely not a hero I enjoy fighting all that much, and that's surely because of how skillful a person is with Highlander. So for me, I think very fun is a good spot. Then most fun, but he's pretty close. Next up for the Vikings, we have Shaman. Okay, I don't play a lot of Shaman, but when I do feel like she is one of the most fun heroes. And let me explain why. Yes, Shaman is really fucking annoying, but Shaman is, without question, the best assassin in the game, probably next to Hatsune. And here's why. And I would say Orochi, but I'm talking about practicality here and not bullshit. So with Shaman, I feel like Shaman is one of the most fun heroes to play because of how she works. Yes, she is a gimmick hero, but she's like a gimmick hero done right. The moment you get a jab in and make someone bleed, in that moment, you can heal off of every hit that you deal to that opponent. And immediately, to me, that is so good. Because this is a hero who can basically punish you one time and benefit heavily off of it with more damage, more bleed, and let's not forget Pounce. I am going to say that with so much honesty, the reason why people play Shaman is because of her Pounce ability, and if you don't see that coming, oh my god, you're so fucked. You are fucked. Shaman is just so much fun to play. I don't play her a lot, but if I have to play like a Viking or a an assassin, like those two like weekly like daily challenges and like together, I would play Shaman because Shaman is just really strong in that aspect. I think, and I do think that she is competitive. I don't know. I'm not very much in the competitive scene, but I do think that she's really good to being competitive. But she does belong up here. And even when you fight a shaman, yeah, they're annoying as shit, but all at the same time, it's like you know what they're going to do. They're going to jab and zone attack. That's what they're going to do. So if you can predict that, they can't really touch you. So I think shaman goes up here. I think she deserves it. Our next Viking is Jormungandr, and he's also one of the most fun heroes. I know, but I do think Jormungandr, in my opinion, is just so dumb fun. But he's like a dumb fun that you need to use a little smart for, you know. And I think that is something that he really does do well. Um, this is a hero that needs to really think about everything he's doing, but you can't, unlike Berserker and Raider, you can't just shut your brain off. You need to be practical with him. And he does not look like the most practical person. Okay, he looks like my local homeless man who found a hammer and just started hammering people's nuts in for money. But this is that guy. He all he does is scream, and I find that kind of fun. He can punch you in the abdomen and get health off of that. I feel like though his best ability is his hammer slam, where if he hits you with the hammer, you fall over, and then he can just hit you right in the balls with the hammer and gain shield from it. I feel like that is just such a satisfying ability, a very satisfying thing to pull off. So I definitely think that he belongs in the most fun. And even when you fight him, it's also fun because you kind of have to be smart with what you're doing against him, you know? And I really like that. I like that about Yorm. Um and we have our last Viking, Vernian Guard. I am going to put her in not very fun. And I'll tell you why. Vernian Guard is strong, and yes, I know she's getting a nerf in like a week as the time of this going up, because we watched the patch notes. She's getting a nerf to her crushing counter. She'd no longer be able to, which I'm happy with. But this hero is so strong for the wrong reasons. She is a support hero, but she's in the lines of like, yeah, she has feats that are supposed to support her and her team, but why does that matter when you can just kill people, you know? I do not like her gameplay, because all I ever go up against is light counter or crushing counter, maybe a heavy that's fainted, or maybe it's not. It's kind of bullshit. I think this hero is not very fun, and all her feats are passive except her last one. So really, to me, it's kind of like I don't enjoy playing her. I really don't. So I think that not very fun is where she belongs. Next up is Kensei. He goes in most fun. I'm sorry. I know. I know a lot of people don't like Kensei, but I would, if I had to say, am I a Kensei main or am I a Warden main? I do say I'm a Warden main. He's the profile of my, he's the image on my video, or not video, profile for the channel. But if I had to say for a samurai, like my favorite samurai, it has to be Kensei. I think Kensei is, yeah, he can be annoying. He can be an asshole to fight against. But when you play a Kensei, I think you have some of the most fun with him because you feel like an elite samurai when you play him. At least in my opinion. His armor fashion is not good, but again, we're not ranking armor. But I do think with Kensei, I feel like with him, he's probably one of the most fun heroes to play, purely because of his unpredictability, but also just because I feel like he embodies the meaning of a samurai than any other samurai hero. I think he's more of a samurai than a Orochi. I would even say that. When I think of a samurai, I think of Kensei. So he has great range as well. But I also think he's perfect where he is. So I'll take where he is. He is probably one of the most fun. And then we have Big Boy. Crap. Then we got Big Boy. Shigoki. I'm actually gonna put him in. I put him in good, and here's why. When you play Shigoki, I'll tell you, you're not playing to win. You're playing because you love playing the fat character. That's it. But along with that, I feel like Shigoki is definitely a hero that is mostly based off of taste. Um, I feel like if you play Shigoki, then you play Shigoki because you really find him fun because he's just the fat guy and you can move people around and knock people around with your the Kanabo. And I feel the same way. I feel very much the same way. I really like giving people hugs with Shigoki. But when we're talking about gameplay itself, he kind of goes on the lines of Warlord. But I feel like unlike Warlord, you can die often with Shigoki, but you can definitely deal the damage as well. But I just feel like Shigoki is more of a good hero to play with than a very fun one. So it's kind of weird, and I know that a lot of people are thinking like, why, how? But that's just my opinion. Um, and I won't lie, at times I feel like when you knock people around with his when you guard break someone and then do a heavy, you knock them away. I feel like that can actually detriment you, in my opinion. I feel like if you do that, you better hope it's off a ledge or it kills them. If not, then you kind of fucked yourself because they can run away or you can't follow up with a punish. You can't really do that. So to me, with Warlord, you can get away with that kind of thing. You can't really knock people around. You can move them to different parts of the area you're fighting in, but Shigoki is different. You gotta knock them around. But definitely the hug is probably one of the most fun parts about him. I will say that. Next up is Orochi. Okay, I am gonna say this. I'm gonna put him in very fun. I fucking hate fighting Orochis because if they're really good, they're gonna mop the floor with you. If they're really bad, then you're gonna mop the floor with them. But playing Orochi is kind of like a power fantasy, I feel like. I feel like a lot of people have done a thing where they play Orochi and they either say, wow, this character is really, really broken, which is naturally all of them. But I feel like Orochi is definitely a power fantasy. At least I feel. I feel like with him, he is a hero that is on the lines of, yeah, this hero is really, really strong in the right hands. But even if you're new, he's really strong. But he is getting a bit of a nerf. So I feel like that will change a little bit, but I feel like his placement won't. I feel like though I definitely feel with his dodge counter, I feel like that is really strong. Just being able to stab someone when you do your dodge, I feel like that's very good. Um but also he's one of the only characters I feel like in the game that can really counter Visarosa. So immediately that to me is a positive. Because fuck Visarosa. You can already foreshadow where I'm gonna put Visarosa. But yeah, I think very fun's a good spot for him. If we're talking balance, easily he would be top tier, but for like the wrong reasons. But I think with the nerf that's coming to him, I feel like he'll be a little bit more fair, but still strong. Next up is Nobushi. I am gonna put Nobushi in not very fun, and here's why. I feel like Nobushi is a hero that's so annoying to fight, and you can't hit her back. But unlike a certain other hero by the name of Visarosa, she has to time it. She has to absolutely time her attacks. She has to time her dodge and her all guard. Well, I won't say all guard, but her all guard. She is definitely a support hero on the lines of I'm gonna poke you while you're fighting my teammate kind of deal. And even then, if you're in a one-on-one situation with her and you can't predict what she's gonna do or where she's gonna stab you, she's gonna make you bleed to death. And I will say this, her heavies while you're bleeding, they hit like semi trucks. So that's very good. But playing her, in my opinion, I'm not good with Nobushi. I don't have a lot of fun with Nobushi. I kind of just don't like Nobushi in general, and that's more of just a me thing. But I know that a lot of people like Nobushi. I'm just not one of them. But I think not very fun is just gonna be where she's gonna be placed for me. Not the biggest fan. And then we have Shinobi. I'm gonna put Shinobi also in not very fun, and here's why. I feel like when I play Shinobi, I'm not playing For Honor. I'm playing Dark Souls. And I don't mean that in a good way. I don't I gotta be so honest with this hero. I feel like when people play Shinobi, they play him like they would Orochi. He's literally like Orochi. That's how I can say it. But whenever you play Shinobi, you don't play Shinobi because you're in it to like have fun. You're in it to win. And that's what sucks about him. I feel like his feats are really strong. I feel like his moveset is fucking busted. And I feel like with the amount of fucking bashes that he can do that you cannot predict if he's gonna do or not, it really hurts. It really fucking hurts you. But for playing him, I can see why people would play him. I am not one of those people. I think Orochi, I feel like, is I wouldn't say slightly, but I feel like Orochi's a bit more fun in my opinion. I know why people would play Shinobi. I know why he's fun, but to me, it just doesn't vibe with me. I've just never been a fan of the assassin kind of archetype that Shinobi has. I mean, do I like playing Shinobi? Yeah, from time to time I do. I think Shinobi is pretty solid, especially in minion lane and in one-on-one fights. But to me, I'm kind of like, I'm not the biggest fan. But every time I have to fight a Shinobi, it's like they're so fucking cocky. Like they deliberately think they're better at the game than they really are. I don't know. That's probably just me, but my god, that's how I feel. Armusha, I'm honestly gonna put in good. I am very mixed on Armusha. I don't play a lot of Armusha, but I do say that Armusha is kind of like a good, fun hero. I think that if you're feeling like Armusha, play Armusha. If you don't feel like Armusha, don't play Armusha. I think definitely with his all guard, it's a very heavily time based, and I think that's very good. I feel like that's what fucking Vernian Guard should have been. Like you can't be stunned for like half a century. But with Armusha, he's definitely you gotta play smart with Armusha, or else you're gonna get really kicked in the face. But also Armusha is one of the only heroes in the game that is really good against countering light spam, and I really like that about him. I think he's good. Whenever I play him, though, I feel like I get my ass kicked. But I feel like if you like Armusha for his damage or DPS, I feel like he's definitely up there for a good reason. I don't fight a lot of Armushas, but when I do, I feel like it's always a fair fight. So I think he's belongs in middle. Next up is Hitsukiri, and she pain, absolute pain. I do not like playing Hitsukiri at all. I feel like if you play Hitsukiri, you're like in the everyone looks at you, even your own team, as like you're the reincarnation of Adolf himself. Okay, that's honestly how people view you. I do not like fighting Hitsukiri for obvious reasons. I do not like playing Hitsukiri for obvious reasons. I feel like when you play Hitsukiri, you're no longer playing For Honor. You're playing a 2-button simulator, and you will just win. That's why I do not like Hitsukiri. You'll win off of bullshit. You press 2 buttons, which is really just heavy, and your kick, which you can drag out. And by the way, why does Hitsukiri's kick guarantee a heavy? That's dumb. It should be a light, not a heavy. If they were to fix that, I feel like it would be so much more balanced. Her hyper armor is bullshit. Her infinite chain is bullshit. I feel like her timed heavies is bullshit. And unlike Shigoki, where Shigoki has other options, I feel like Hitsukiri is specifically designed for just bullshit. I don't like her. I do not like her feats. I do not like her gameplay. I do not like fighting her. I don't think anyone enjoys fighting Hitsukiri. And if they do, they're a liar. I will say that with Velocity, she is a liar. And lastly, we have, of course, Kyoshin. I am gonna put Kyoshin. Oh god. You know what? I'm gonna put Kyoshin in probably good, and here's why. Yes, I think Kyoshin can be annoying. I think Kyoshin can be really annoying to fight. But I really like his blind swordsman archetype, and I do feel like right now in the game's history, I feel like he's a lot more balanced. there was a time that I remember very well. This motherfucker did in a gank was going to his all guard, and he would just stay there the entire fight. They will still do this, but now with the fact that their stamina will drain over time, um, I feel like now they have to play a little bit smarter, like a tiny bit, like one extra brain molecule more. But other than that, I think Kyoshin is good. I think he's definitely like, if you really like anime and like the blind swordsman archetype, Kyoshin is just really fun. But for me, I feel like whenever I play Kyoshin, I feel like a scumbag in a way. Even though I don't use my all guard in ganks, but I feel like with him, it's like you have to. Um, I think he's all right though. I do think good's a good spot for him. I do think that's much more of a fair spot for him. And now we got our last samurai. We got Sohei, and my boy, he's going in some of the most fun. Okay. I think we can all collectively agree that Sohei has had it through the ringer of For Honor so much. But I think where he is right now, I think he's in a good spot. I think that he is going to get a nerf to his first feat and his third feat, which is just 20% more. No, he went from 25% damage increase to now just 20% damage increase, which I think is still pretty good. Um, Honestly, Sohei is probably one of the more fun heroes because he is just a beast if you play him right. He's definitely not a new player friendly hero. His fashion is very limited, but I think when it comes to playing Sohei and going against Sohei, I have some of the most fun because Sohei, I feel like, has just so many options once you get all his souls. During the process of getting souls, it's like a mini objective that you need to do. For a mini objective as in, okay, I need to fight this guy. Can I try to gain all these souls? If not, okay, I gotta swap up my tactics and just fight him normally. I feel like Sohei is just a hero that is so good to play and go up against. Now I do think back in when he first released, he was incredibly weak, except for when he got all his souls, and then he could just fucking one-shot you. I think that now they nerfed that, so he's a little bit more fair, and now he's definitely on the lines of, okay, do I want to finish this guy off? He's already weak, maybe like 2 more hits and he's dead, or should I save my souls so I can keep my damage up? Or should I use my souls to heal myself because I am about the same health as this guy, so I can guarantee I win this fight? And I never know, maybe his team's going to show up. That's what I really like about Sohei. So I think Sohei definitely belongs in the most fun because I feel like with him, he really can be very fun. All right. Now we're finally on the Wu Lin, and I have some words to say about them. So let's talk about our boy Tiandi. I think Tiandi is good. I don't play a lot of Tiandi, but he's definitely death from like 1,000 cuts kind of hero. And I feel like with Tiandi, I feel like with him, he's definitely a spam hero, but like he is specifically that. Like they're not trying to design him any other way. He deals less damage than most. Has good crushing counter. His undodgeables are kind of annoying. But I feel like Tiandi is definitely in a good spot. I don't think he's broken. I don't think he's underpowered. And whenever I play him, I feel like I can do decent. I think the word decent is pretty good. But whenever I have to fight them, it's kind of the same deal. It's either a free kill, it's either not. I honestly don't have a lot of feelings towards Tiandi because I don't really fight a lot of them. But I do think that he's pretty solid. I think he's like perfectly belongs in the middle. With when it comes to fun factor, I don't play him a lot because to me he's not too fun. But when I do feel like, hey, yeah, I remember why he's kind of good. Okay, Jun. I have mixed feelings on this guy, and I am gonna put him. I'm going to put him in, I'll put him in good. I want to put him in very fun, but then I feel like I'm doing kind of a disservice because I feel like with Jun in Pacific, I feel like when you're playing him, it's not that bad, and it's actually kind of good because what you're doing when you play Jun is you are really buffing your team so damn hard to the point it's not even funny. But when you're in combat, you can really kick the shit out of people with this guy. I feel like with Jun Jun in a gank, like a group fight, he's easily one of like, okay, this guy's a priority target. We have to kill him, but it's going to be hard to get to him when he's standing there giving his team, buffs and stamina, and he's just standing there all smirk, and he fucking knows you want to attack. So you either need to play like Ocelotl or Kensei or Berserker or Warlord to do a have hyper armor on your attack on like a frontal dodge attack, because you get hyper armor, because we all know what this motherfucker does. We all know the moment you get close to him, he will do a zone, and that shit's so hard to parry. It's so hard. But I definitely feel like with him being like, a general archetype, I feel like he definitely fits that. And I do have a lot of fun when I do play him, but I also hate fighting him. So I feel like good is a good spot for him. Next is Nuxia. Okay. I'm going to be very honest. I do not play a lot of Nuxia. I don't like Nuxia. I'm going to put her not very fun. I don't like fighting her. Ever since she got the undodgeable attack with her hook swords, I feel like she's more annoying. Not bullshit, just annoying. And I just don't like her overall mechanic that much. I don't like her trap mechanic, really. I feel like it's kind of dumb, and I do definitely think that if we're talking like if she's better than Peacekeeper, easily she is. She's a lot stronger than Peacekeeper, but if we're talking fun, I'm not a fan of her. I do think though that the fact that you can grab people and wall splat them is just super strong. But I think she belongs in not very fun. Then we have Shaolin. I am going to be very, very honest. When I was doing my challenge, now I had a personal challenge where I had to get every hero up to rep 10, so I had a good understanding of the hero, and so I can get like their max loot. I understand why people love playing Shaolin, but I think after I got him leveled up, which was about around season like last year during the Wulin season of last year, I got him up to that rep, and I haven't played him since, because I understand why people think he is overpowered, and he definitely is a very fun hero. I think he's a very fun hero. I get why people play him, and he definitely deserves to be called very fun. I do not like fighting them, of course. But I think over time, as I've learned the game, I feel like Shaolin has become a lot easier to deal with. I feel like in my time playing this game, I feel like he's a hero that I can now understand a lot more of and a lot better. So I feel like very fun is a good spot for him. I do find him fun as well whenever I do feel like playing him, which is very rare. But I do think that he belongs in very fun. And next up we have Zanhu. I'm going to put Zanhu in not very fun. I gotta be honest. I think Zanhu is not a fun hero. Not even to go up against. It's just, Zanhu is boring. I think Zanhu is more boring than Warlord, in my opinion. I do think that you can have a lot of fun with them, with like their feats and their traps and whatnot, but you need to unlock those. And even when you do, I don't feel like it benefits Zanhu all that much. I do think her last feat is really good, but I think other than that, I'm not a fan of her. I am not a fan of how she operates. I'm not a fan of her attack, or not attack, her moveset I think is boring. And whenever I have to fight them, it's more in lines of annoying, but like not terribly annoying. So I think that Zanhu just goes in not very fun. So there's that. And then we have Jiren. So Jiren is getting nerfed. I said in my last video, which would be link in the description to that if you want to know. But Jiren, I don't want to make people mad, but I am going to put Jiren in very fun. And here's why. I think finding a Jiren is really fucking annoying. Okay? I do not like fighting Jiren in any way, shape, and or form. But when you play Jiren, you understand why people play Jiren. It's not because he's meta, even though it is. It's not because he is like the newest Wulin. It's not just because he's based off of Lu Bu. This guy is one of the most power fantasy heroes in the game, and for the right reasons. Not because he can kill everyone. I'm talking about last stand situations. You are the last bastard alive. Your whole team is dead. You got all your feats up. You are on the you're on your last objective, and the entire team's coming for you. The entire enemy team's coming for you, and your sole goal is to make sure that they don't kill you, or you're going to make them work for that kill. I think that's one of my favorite things about Jiren is the last stand scenarios where you're losing and you know you're going to lose. You know you're going to lose, but you're going to make them fucking work for it. I think Jiren's executions are also really good. I feel like his moveset is extremely fun to play with. I do think, though, some of it's bullshit. Like his kick, I think, is bullshit. I think his undodgeable is bullshit. And I think definitely his heavy, where he can kind of just lock you in place for a moment, is bullshit. I think that his light attack that gives him hyper armor is bullshit. But when you play as Jiren, you understand why people like him. I think he's definitely like a very fun hero, but a very overpowered hero. And that's kind of like one of the scenarios with him. I really like playing him. I absolutely hate fighting him. So he's going in very fun just for like the last stand scenario alone. But when you need to play like a beast, this guy is it. This guy is it. And now we're finally on the Outlanders. I'm very excited for this one. So for Outlanders, we're going to do Pirate. Pirate has been around the ringer so many times. And I'm going to put Pirate in good. I think Pirate, now that she has gotten nerfs, I feel like she's in a much better place. I don't think she's as annoying. I have a lot of fun with Pirate. I do. I got the Coalheart skin and everything. I have fun with Pirate. I also like the fact that Pirate just has Gun as her bash, but I mean Gun is good. Gun equal good. I do know that she was a lot more broken when she first came out. Thank God I wasn't here for that. But I do think with Pirate specifically, I have a lot of fun with her. But I do think that ever since she got nerfed, like no one plays her anymore, and it's literally because she's no longer like S tier, and that's so dumb. That is so dumb to me. But I do think Pirate's still pretty good. I think that Pirate, even now going against her after her nerf, I think is pretty balanced. Annoying at times, yeah, but that can be any hero. But with her, I think it's fair. Medjai. Okay, for Medjai, I'm also going to put in good, because I don't have a lot of negative feelings towards Medjai, if I have to be honest. I feel like Medjai is a hero that, in my opinion, is probably one of the most balanced Outlanders next to one other. Well, two others, I guess. I think that he's quite versatile as well. At times he can be annoying, yeah, but like other times he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He kind of reminded me, when I first started playing him, he reminded me of like a Berserker, but with like more moves. Nowadays he's definitely like up there with like being a good support hero, but also have an answer for everything. But not a lot of people play him, which is kind of weird. I do think that he can be annoying to go up against, as well, specifically when he swaps his stances. But I think he's like a jack of all trades, master of none. But I think he's pretty good. I like him. I like him. I think good is a good spot for him. Aphira, I'm putting Aphira in pain. Let me tell you why. I got Aphira up to rep 10, and I did not play her since. That was about a year ago. A full year I have not touched this hero, and I will tell you why. I feel like Aphira is so powerful in the right hands that it's completely unfair. Unlike Orochi, where, yeah, if you're fighting a good Orochi, it feels unfair, but you have to be quite skilled to play Orochi like to his max potential. With this motherfucker, you don't. I do not like fighting Aphira. I do not like playing Aphira because I don't feel like I earn my kills. I feel like all I'm doing is getting free hits in. It's a lot like Hitsekir, just without the hyper armor. And that is not good. She has crushing counter. She has those fucking dumb dodge abilities. And do not get me started on her two abilities where she just wraps her legs around your head. I know that a lot of people like that because they want to smell the ass crack, but no, I don't. I do not like Afira. I do not like Afira. I do not like playing her. I do not like fighting against her. Um, I do think her shield throw is fun because it like ricochets off of everyone. I think that's kind of fun. But other than that, not a fan. I'm not a fan of her. Next up is Ocelotl. Um, I have mixed feelings on Ocelotl because he's been nerfed and changed and nerfed again. He went from a hero who was along on the lines of Unga Bunga mode to now being Unga Bunga but use brain. So to me, I feel like he's actually in a much better spot than he has been. I think he's a much more fair hero, and I actually have a lot of fun with him. I'm gonna put him up here. I think I do have a lot of fun with Ocelotl. I feel like he is a lot more balanced. I never used his ghost ability when they nerfed it the first time, and quite frankly, I think Tireless is a better feat for him in my opinion. They nerfed his ghost traversal, the spirit thing that he does now, and I don't think anyone uses it anymore. But I think Ocelot is in a much more better placement nowadays than when he has been. I think Ocelot though requires a lot more brain power, which I think is actually really good. I think that Ocelot, because now he's not Unga Bunga stabby throwy mode, now you have to use your brain with him, and I think that makes him a much more balanced hero. And I like Aztec as well. I think that the theme with him is very good. Next up is Hatun. Oh my fuck. Okay. So I have a lot of feelings against Hatun. At times I feel like Hatun is extremely annoying to fight, extremely broken. But then I play Hatun, and then I remember, oh yeah, this hero actually requires skill to play to get the benefit, and you have to be careful with what you do against people with hyper armor, which is almost everyone. So, with Hatun, you know what? I'll put her in most fun. She's probably one of the most fun Outlanders, in my opinion, and I don't think she needs any changes. I think that where she is right now is perfect. I really like her deflect as well. Her deflect is so much fun because her deflect, unlike every other hero in the game, it's basically passive, but you have to choose on what you want to do. Do you want to impale them? Do you want to do a light to get back in it? Do you want to do a zone which gives you hyper armor? Do you want to do a throw which throws into a wall so that you can guarantee a heavy? You know, I feel like with her, it very much is a jack of like you get to pick your own adventure with her. I feel like that is with that's very good with Hatun. And last but not least, we have Visarosa. You know why. You know fucking why. All right, and there we go. There is my tier list for the For Honor cast. I am very happy with this, and we also are going to get that new hero, which I'm very excited for. But yeah, this is my most fun tier list, and here is everyone. Here's the roster of our beloved cast. But other than that, I might do another tier list at some point. I want to hear you guys' opinions if you want me to do that. But I will try to do another one. I'm not sure which one I want to do, but I might do like, you know, annoying, like which heroes are the most annoying to fight, which ones are broken or whatever, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, here we go. Here is my opinion of the most fun tier list for the Heroes of For Honor. So thank y'all for watching. Be happy, stay happy, and I'll see all you warriors on the battlefield. Thank you.